crew would put their padlocks on after they verified that. Then they were in command of the capsule, and the other guys could go home. Because of what's in there, it had to be 2 officers down here. This is normally first or second lieutenant. This is what I did. And the guy over there was a captain up to lieutenant colonel. They had to be within sight of each other, and that's that no loan zone yellow line out there. We couldn't go past that legally. Sometimes we'd sneak to the elevator to get a pot of coffee. All right? But that's what it was, all right? And they had to be armed, so we carried snub-nosed .38s. And theoretically, they had to be awake. So this is not a blink, blink,
Not a bed?
sleeping area. That's a resting area. All right? All right. As I said upstairs, our orders would have come from SAC headquarters, and it would be over that top speaker if we were going to launch a missile. We're going to go right into that now. And it would be like deedle, 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 like that. And then it would be Hotel, Oscar, Whiskey, Sahara, Sahara, Hotel, Echo. I was reading how she, okay? We get a message like that, we'd have to decode that by hand, and it said you're going to launch 2 7 and 11 missiles. Be careful. All right, we're going to launch 2 7 and 11 missiles. Well, the keys are in there, so we would take our padlocks off. We had them off already because we were decoding, and then take our keys, put them around our neck, and go through the countdown. We could do that faster than I can tell you. All right. So back then, these were the arming switches for the missiles. So we're going to launch 2 7 11 missile. Remember, they're 10 miles away. Nobody's there. They're solid propellant, so they're ready to go in a fraction of a second. So we flip that up, 2 7 and 11. Those are the arming switches. That's like taking the safety off of a weapon. So now all you got to do is pull the trigger. And the trigger was the key. The deputy's key went here. And so come on over and we'll see the rest. Somebody can sneak back there if they want, or a couple of you. All right. This is how we kept track of the missiles, 2, 7, and 11. And as soon as you arm that, you could get arming switch. Come on down. You don't have to. Just don't trip.
Yeah.
All right. 2, 7, 11. You got arming switches. The commander put his key there, and you turn the key, and boom, nothing happens. If just these 2 people turn the key. It goes into an hour-and-a-half time delay as part of fail-safe. All right? But remember, we got Alpha, Bravo, or Charlie. They got the message. They got on the phone and said, we got to launch a few missiles. Will you co-op launch with us? Now we've got 4 or more people turning the key. And we do that, then the missiles go in 30 seconds. Right? So 2 guys, time delay, 4 or more, instant launch. Later on, Looking Glass could assist in one of those extras if we had to, all right? We're on a time delay.
I'm sorry, I missed something here. So how many stations are there controlling those missiles?
1.
Just this.
This.
But the other 2 people are where?
Well, you didn't cover. We covered. There's.
Oh, I'm sorry.
This is Delta with 10 missiles. We got Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, Delta, and Echo. 5 of them interconnected with 500 miles buried cable. So there's 50 missiles in 5 of these, and we operated as a unit. Okay.
Okay.
So we could launch and monitor each other's missiles. Okay. All right. Russia had this targeted with a 10 megaton, which I didn't know when I worked here. I'd probably got another job. But a 10 megaton direct hit here makes a hole 120 feet deep, so we're not here. Our missiles, though, remember, 10 miles away, automatically go to arm them if this is taken out. Not if it's shut down, but if it's taken out. All right, so we're gone. Our missiles are hot then, so any survivor in the squadron or Looking Glass could launch those missiles by radio or by whatever. So not theoretically, but actually 2 people with a time delay of an hour-and-a-half could launch all 50 missiles. Okay. All right. All what you see here is communication equipment. A lot of what's in here is communication. We could listen to almost every frequency that there is. All right, HF, UHF, VHF, everything. All right. Say that weapon that Russia shot at us, though, hit a half a mile away. we probably would have survived. That's what all this shock isolator is, and the belts and the rails and all that is to keep us alive. All right, so we survived, but we shot our missiles, and then we want to go home. Well, we don't know. There's no home probably, but we go home anyhow. So we got to get out of here. We try to open with the blast door, and it's full of dirt. We can't even open that up. So they gave us a psychological exit. You probably remember this. That's all I always thought about it, psychological. It's like just take a look or take your pictures, then rotate out so other guys can. But it's like a sewer lid, street sewer lid, but it's bolted, and it leads to a culvert. So they tell us full of sand, and the sand, you take that off, the sand rolls out, and you can dig yourself out the rest of the way. All right.
You'd actually, so it's full of sand. You'd actually have to pull the.
Yeah, well, it's at a 30-degree angle, so maybe if it'd run out and goes underneath, it can go underneath here. I don't know. I mean, that's
That's what they tell you.
after the missiles are gone. They know nobody's going to care about us anyhow, right? We had food, water, and a few things down underneath here. All right. What else do we got here?
Why are these on rails?
Well,
Do
why
you
is it
really
on
slide
rails?
back and forth?
Okay. Remember,
Like-
we're on shock isolated.
Oh,
When
so
we
if you
went
do
to
go
a
into
certain
one-
level of DEFCON, all right, we had to strap in. This guy here had to be able to get back and forth and do the switches and whatever he had to do here. So he had to stay belted in.
and slide. Okay.
All right, couldn't get to the bathroom.
At that point, you're probably not thinking about it.
Yeah. Either that or it's too late.
Yeah. Seriously,
Okay.
too late.
Which position was the most monotonous?
Well, you never. Here's what happened when we
Boring.
were
However you wanna say
when
it.
we came on alert, 10 o'clock. The cooks would bring us down lunch, dinner, and supper, and so on. Whoever was tired rested. So we'd start sleeping right, in the afternoon. The other guy would come over here. So 95% of what could be done here could be done by one person. Because most of the time we were just monitoring the security out at the missile sites. And if you go out there, you'll see it's a fenced-in area, and they had radars that didn't work worth a darn over the top of them. You probably knew that.
Oh, I hated those things.
Yeah, they were bad. Grasshoppers would set them off. Pheasants would come in, in the morning or night to get rocks, and they would set it off. Cattle, it was just a mess. We could watch the lightning storms coming across the prairie by which one of these lit up. Okay, so mostly the security guys were having to run out there and look. We could get 1 or 2 resets. I can't remember which, and then we had to send a security guy out. So that was most of what we had to do. So I spent more time in this chair than I did in that one, okay? Because we would take turns during the night and during the day. Cooks would bring us down snacks, apple pie or sandwiches, fresh pot of coffee about 7 o'clock at night, and then get us until breakfast, all right? This base was set up to work on your master's in business administration. Okay. Well, wasn't it bad? That's why I volunteered. We were all volunteers at this time. This is in '62. All right. We volunteered, so they brought professors in from Ohio State, set up a little classroom for us, interwove our alert schedule. We usually come out here 7 to 8 times a month. They interwove our class with our alert schedule, and we studied.